everyone, I'm Dr. Thalia-Rae and welcome back to my channel. So I talk to a lot of people sometimes, and unfortunately it seems like everybody at some point in time has been ripped off by their dentist. I like to say that dentistry is basically the, what did I call it yesterday? I said dentistry is the auto mechanic of the medical world. Basically, dentists are the auto mechanics of the medical world. Oh my goodness, can I actually say that? They're going to hate me so much. But it's kind of true. Anybody who's owned a car or knows somebody who's owned a car has an experience that's gone something like this. Driving down the road and you get a flat tire and you take your car into the auto mechanic shop and you have absolutely no idea what they're doing. Put you in that little room that smells a little bit like grease and oil, you know. It has those little 25-cent vending machines with the multicolored gumballs that are really big but lose flavor in like 5 seconds. And the auto mechanic comes back in after 20 minutes and something like this happens. Okay, so Thalia, flat tire, huh? How long have you had the car for? And has it had regular checkups? Okay. Well, I'm sorry to inform you the hyperdrive is blown, the flux capacitor is no longer working, the warp drive is completely bollocks, your kyber crystal is no longer working, and before we can get your car back to you in working condition, it's probably going to cost you about $4,000. Oddly enough, this is what a lot of people feel like when they go to the dentist. You're sitting in a chair, someone's looking in your mouth, you have no idea what's going on, and then when it's all said and done, your dentist hits you with a, you have 20 different things wrong with your teeth. That's probably going to cost $7,000 to fix with or without insurance. Now, I would like to think that every single dentist on the face of the planet is a completely ethical person who would never upsell or take money from you that they didn't actually need to. Built into the dental model is the fact that you know very little of what's going on, and the dentist knows everything that's going on, so there's a system just ripe for exploitation. It's my personal opinion that it's very rare to run into a dentist who is treating you unethically or is trying to bill you for things that you don't actually need. But the purpose of this video is to do a few things. 1, answer the question, did my dentist rip me off? 2, provide you with some tools to tell if your dentist is doing something a little shady. And 3, provide you with some tips and tricks to help you feel more in control of your dental appointment and your treatment plan. The first indication you're going to have of what kind of dentist you're going to is actually going to be the office itself. Take a look around. Is the office clean? Does it look cared for? Does the staff smile at you when you walk into the office? All of these are signs that you're dealing with a good dentist, because a dentist who takes care of their front desk and their staff is probably going to take care of you. It's also important not to be fooled by fancy decor, waterfall coming down over a crystal chandelier, wonderful music playing. Just because it's a beautiful office doesn't mean that you're dealing with a great dentist. In fact, a lot of dentists who are fantastic just simply can't afford the real estate of such a fancy office. The list of ways that a dentist can rip you off is actually endless, and I'm probably going to have to do another video like this at some point, but I want to talk about 5 ways that a dentist could overbill you for things that you don't necessarily need. And they are 1, x-rays, 2, deep cleanings, 3, big fillings, 4, root canals and crowns, and 5, small cavities or demineralization. One way you can tell if your dentist is a crook is if they try to take radiographs and charge you for them more than every 12 months. Most insurance companies are only going to cover a full set of x-rays every 12 months. The x-ray is called bite wings that they take in between your back teeth that are very important because that's a very common place to get cavities. But if every time you go to this dentist, they're wanting to take a full set of x-rays, be wary. Of course, if you have a problem and you come in and you say, this tooth right here is hurting me, they'll probably take an x-ray of that tooth. Number 2, deep cleaning or SRP. SRP stands for scaling and root planing. That's not really important. One way that a dentist can upcode and rip you off is to charge you for deep cleanings every 3 months. The only people who are going to need deep cleaning every 3 months are individuals who have severe gum disease. If no one in your family has ever had gum disease, you take pretty good care of your teeth and you go in to see the dentist and they say, we need to see you every 3 months for deep cleaning. So how do you tell if you actually need to pay for a deep cleaning every 3 months, or if the dentist is simply trying to line their pockets with your hard-earned dinero? Actually, it's pretty simple. Individuals who need deep scaling and root cleaning every 3 months are going to have probing depths greater than 5. You know when you get there and the hygienist or the dentist has that little pokey instrument and they poke your gums and they're just yelling out a bunch of numbers? 3, 2, 4. You can be a little sneaky and listen to what they're actually saying. If they're saying higher numbers, 5, 6, 7, a lot, the odds that you need a deep root cleaning. Some of the hygienists and dentists you work with remember long strings of numbers as they enter them into the computer. There's absolutely nothing wrong for asking to see the numbers of your gum health if they tell you that you need to pay to get your teeth cleaned every 3 months. All right, number 3, big fillings. One of the most common questions I receive is, do we really need to put a crown on this tooth, or can we simply just do a big filling? A dentist has an incentive to not do a big filling. First of all, it's very time consuming. Second, it's very technique sensitive. It is 100% okay to ask your dentist to explain to you where the cavity is in your tooth or where the decay is in your tooth. You can even ask them to show you a picture of the x-ray and to see, exactly where the decay is. If the dentist can't explain it to you or won't explain it to you and simply says you need a crown, hard stop, without offering you any other treatments, it's okay to be a little suspicious. Number 4. Root canals. Root canals fall along the same line of thought as big fillings. The reason for this is if you need a root canal on a back tooth, it's not just a root canal. You're going to have to pay for the root canal, and then something called the buildup, and then something called a crown. A shady dentist knows that if they can convince you to get a root canal, you're also going to have to pay for a lot of other treatment in order to keep that tooth. If the dentist recommends that you have root canals in 5 different teeth with buildups and crowns, you might want to ask a few more questions. You can save a lot of money by not getting root canals. A lot of times the decay or the cavity in your tooth can be very close to the root of the tooth, but not directly inside it. You can ask the dentist to maybe be a little more conservative or do a different sort of treatment called an indirect pulp cap, where you place medication over the area that's infected and seal it off and hope that the tooth heals itself. So if you feel like you don't need a root canal, you can simply say to your dentist, can we be a little more conservative? Can I try something else? I've heard of something called a pulp cap. Why don't we try that? Of course, there's going to be some situations where regardless of what you want, the decay in the tooth is far too big, and you'll be able to see that on the x-ray exactly like right here. You see the dark shadowing going directly into the root of the tooth? There's nothing that can be done about that. That tooth would definitely need a root canal. But if it looks something a little more like this, and your dentist is telling you you need a root canal, you might want to say, hey, can we be a little more conservative? I'd like to try this first before we go this really expensive route. And number 5, demineralization or small cavities. So there are some dentists who, as soon as they see any sign of a cavity, say drill and fill. That's obviously not good for your bottom line, and it's really hard to defend against. Let's say you have a dentist you feel did unwarranted treatment on multiple of your teeth. If there's decay there, they can say, there was decay, so I drilled and I filled. The thing is that some very small cavities can heal on their own. If the decay hasn't passed a certain point, you can wait. They can prescribe fluoride toothpaste. You can increase your flossing in that area. Dentists can even discuss dietary modifications with you to help you change your diet, like decreasing carbohydrates and sugar, that can give that area of the tooth the time it needs to heal. And we can just watch and wait. Now, I know that I called dentists earlier the auto mechanics of the medical world. Here are some risk factors you might have that might indicate that, yeah, it's going to cost a lot of money. So don't take it out on your dentist and just be honest about what your oral care has been. If you fit into any of the following categories, it's highly likely that you need a lot of work in your mouth. If you don't brush at least once a day, you're probably going to need a lot of dental work. If you never floss, if you're a lady and you've been recently pregnant, it's really likely that after you have your baby and you go back to the dentist, there's going to be a ton of cavities out of nowhere. It's a hormonal thing. Ugh. If you are a male in your late 20s who has never had any dental problem ever, it's highly likely that you're going to have a lot of dental problems. Everything starts to catch up. But generally speaking, if I have a huge treatment plan, it's usually a guy who always brushes his teeth but hasn't really flossed and has never had any problems, and then just all of a sudden needs 12 fillings. And then, of course, diet plays a huge role. Even if you brush twice a day and floss every single day, if your diet consists of endless candies, sodas, and fruit juice, you're probably going to need a lot of dental work. Okay, so I hope I explained a few of the ways that you can tell if you're dealing with an honest or a dishonest dentist, as well as a few things you can do to save your money and take control of your dental appointment. I'm really interested to find out how many of you feel like a dentist has unfairly charged you for a procedure. I would love to hear your comments. Subscribe below. Wait, or